With long-standing support from Toyota, the event has become something of an institution. It was that time of year again when Botswana goes a little crazy with Toyota 1000 advance guard waiting for overall leaders Neil Woolrich and Kenny Schulthammer when the pair arrived at the designated service point. As has become the norm for the pair on recent events, they bypassed the service area and just kept going. The ploy, made possible by an enlarged fuel tank, saved the Mitsubishi Pajero pair valuable time and entrenched their lead. Behind the Pajero, the first of the special vehicles into the service point was the Jimco of Mark Corbett and Juan Moore, with the crew grabbing some quick refreshment while service crew went to work. Not far behind the Corbett-Moore combination were Arpi Reiniger and Robin Houghton in the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser. The pair were still involved in a tremendous scrap with the Land Cruiser of Cliff Wiechelt and Johan Smalberger, and there was a flurry of activity around the factory entry. The object of the exercise was to get Reiniger and Houghton back on the road in the shortest possible time. Some slick work from the service crew saw Reiniger and Houghton on their way again with a minimum of lost time. While the Toyota crew rejoined the fray, there were problems for Greg Harvey and Boy Stone, who arrived at the service point with the Castrol Queen Motors Spares Jimco sporting a flat front left tyre. That led to some more frantic activity while the wheel was changed and the Jimco recharged with enough fuel to get the pair to the finish in Gaborone. More good work from service personnel quickly saw Harvey and Stone on their way with their immediate target centered around catching Corbett and Moore. Also into the service area were Enzo Kuhn and Francois Jourdan in the Mitsubishi Colt, which was leading Class D. There to meet them were a group of Daimler Chrysler management, with Kuhn taking time out for a quick bite and a chat with his girlfriend. It was all very relaxed in the Kuhn pits, but over at the Toyota Hilux, driven by the Birkin brothers, Andrew and Chris, mechanics were busy with some running repairs. The Birkins didn't look overly concerned, with the pair leading Class E. In the quad class, Brendan Badenhorst was in front again and hurriedly gulping down liquid refreshment, while a four-legged supporter wondered what all the fuss was about. Badenhorst lost a minimum of time in the service area, and also taking in plenty of liquid was bike category leader Daryl Curtis. The AGA LG Castrol KTM rider had a healthy lead in both the overall and open class categories, but pit crew were keen to get him back on the route as quickly as possible. While Curtis went back into battle, Neil Woolrich and Kenny Schulthammer were still calmly turning the screws on the rest of the car field. They were being tracked by a helicopter flown by veteran pilot Pete Viljoen, who's been on every Toyota 1000 desert race, with this year's event his swan song. Over the years, many a cameraman has had the affable Viljoen to thank for the quality of his aerial shots.
The thing that stands out most in this desert rally is the sportsmanship that exists between the top class to the bottom class. It's something that you don't get anywhere. You know, I came in thinking, first of all, for argument's sake, the bike riders, a bunch of hoo-has and so forth. But you've got to see the dedication and the professionalism and the help that they give one another. And it's inspiring. It's like a rejuvenation every year. It restores my faith in human nature.
Still trucking along at the front of the field were Neil Woolrich and Kenny Schulthammer in the Mitsubishi Pajero. Both are former motorcycle stars, and in place of numb bums and battered joints, now like to do their off-road racing in comparative comfort. The pair were now in full command, and barring the unforeseen, were heading for a comfortable victory. There were more big spectator turnouts along the Day 2 route, with Mark Corbett and Juan Moore still going strong at the front of the special vehicle field. The Jimco was also running second overall to the factory Pajero, but behind them, there was plenty of drama. In the battle raging over second and third in Class T, the N1 4x4 Toyota Land Cruiser of Cliff Wiechelt and Johan Smalberger had now moved ahead of the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser of Arpi Reiniger and Robin Houghton. The factory Toyota pair were now a little under the whip and have no option but to charge as hard as they could and take a few chances. First priority for the pair was to regain second place from Wiechelt and Smalberger, with Reiniger starting to throw the big Land Cruiser around with gay abandon. Going along at a more sedate pace and still leading Class D were Enzo Kuhn and Francois Jourdan in the factory Mitsubishi Colt. The pair were having their best run of the season, but stray cattle were an ever-present danger. Problems too for quad leader Brendan Badenhorst. While Brendan Badenhorst fretted over a worn sprocket, race leaders Neil Woolrich and Kenny Scholthammer were at one of the many river crossings, with another huge turnout of spectators to watch the fun and the drama. And drama there was, with Cliff Wiekhout and Johan Smulberger now second overall in the yellow Toyota Land Cruiser. The pair had moved ahead of special vehicle leaders Mark Corbett and Juan Moore in what was a thoroughly impressive performance from the comparative newcomers to off-road racing. The Land Cruiser ploughed its way through thick mud, with Corbett and Moore following in their wake in the Jimco. The crowds loved it, and charging along in fourth overall were Arpi Reinecker and Robin Houghton in the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser. The Land Cruiser was in full sail, with Reinecker and Houghton still involved in a little game of catch-up with the cars ahead of them. Not so lucky in the mud and the slush were Shamia Variauer and Bucks Carolyn, with the Corn-Baked Foods Jimco getting well and truly bogged down. Rescue operations were underway when Greg Harvey and Boyce Stone came along in the Castrol Queen Motorspares Jimco and moved ahead of Variauer and Carolyn in the special vehicle category. A complicated system of tow ropes, other 4x4 vehicles, and some old-fashioned muscle power were now in operation, where Variauer and Carolyn were concerned. And it did the trick, with the pair finally making it onto firmer ground. The tricky conditions proved to be no problem for Hannes Quadler and Richard Leake in the BP Nissan Hardbody. The crowd was by now well and truly into the swing of things, with Class D leaders Enzo Kuhn and Francois Jourdain getting an enthusiastic welcome, as they also made it through the mud with no fuss or bother. Next on the scene was the Chenoweths of the Duplessis brothers, Gerard and Lawrence. Gerard, who was now flying solo after Lawrence was forced to bail out early on day one, suffering from severe nausea. The next crew to get stuck in the mud were Cliff Barker and Vic Camphor in the Quadrish or Land Rover. Much to the delight of the huge crowd, the mud patch then produced a kaleidoscope of entertainment. They came by car, bike or quad, and they conquered, or got stuck in the mud. With so much fun and action going on in the mud, when the midfield hordes arrived on the scene, the crowds refused to budge. A great time was being had by all, but a few competitors must have wondered where the organisers managed to find so much water and mud in the middle of Botswana in midwinter.